I'm going to cover a little bit more about arrays, including using the length property, and then also using an array within a loop. So here on line 12, we have the states, Washington, Florida, Maine, Nevada, and there's 4 items in here. But when we think about it as an index value, there's 0, 1, 2, 3, 3 being Nevada, 2 Maine, 1 is Florida, and Washington is 0. So that's how it keys up, starting from 0. Okay, so if I check out the length of it, then what will it show? Let me do a save on here, and I'll quickly refresh, and we'll see that it shows the number 4 in this case, because there's 4 items. So that's a little confusing at first because it's easy to get that mixed up, thinking that the length will refer to the array starting with 0, but it in fact doesn't. It actually shows the total number. Okay, so this can be very useful when we're using it within a loop, as we'll see in just a minute. Another interesting thing about this is that the property length is actually, you can actually change it. So I can come in here and I can say my array dot length equals 3. Okay? And now if I do an alert on my array, this will give us the total items in there. It'll show them all. So I'll save this up and we'll see what happens. Oops, I did the wrong one. Okay, so since I changed the length, it actually took off the last item. So it only contains Washington, Florida, and Maine. It only contains 3. So what happens if I come back here and I do well, actually, let's take this down to 1. Now what happens if I do my array dot length equals 6? I'll save this up. I'm going to hit refresh. And it took off, it stripped the Oregon, Nevada, etc. But then on the next line, I increased the length so it adds new items, but they're all blank because it erased. So then it's not going to add on anything, just blank space. Okay, so just pointing this out to show that you can adjust that length property if ever needed. The other thing here that's interesting is that, let's say I have a variable AB equals 1. Okay. So now I can come down here and I can reference that as a variable. So that would give me 1, which would give me Florida in this case. So just remember that you can, your index value there can be a variable. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go look at this as an array. Let's go look at this array within a loop. So I come down here, type 4, I equals 0. This will start from the beginning of the array. As long as I is less than my array dot length, then we'll continue. So then I can do plus plus, and we'll do a document.write my array, and then the current value as it changes within your loop. Okay, let me save this up, and we'll come back here and see what it shows. Oops, document.write. Wouldn't show anything otherwise, which you probably already noticed as you're watching this tutorial. Okay, now it should work. So there we go, Washington, Florida, Maine, Nevada. There's all 4 items. We can add a comma in there. For right now, I'm just going to go ahead and add a break. So I'll just code that. You could also do the escape character for new line. Either way, it will work. We'll refresh this. So now we have Washington, Florida, Maine, Nevada. So just note that it increments through the total value. Now, you might be tempted to say less than or equal to, but you don't want to do that because remember that the length is actually one more number than the index value. So you usually would do it just less than. Okay?